Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm here with another board game review, and today I'll be telling you that why you should play Innovation. Innovation is a small card game from Asmodee Games and Carl Chediak. Those who don't know his name, Carl Chediak is famous for the kind of grail game Glory to Rome, and he's famous for multi-use card games. And this game is no different as well. But one thing that Carl Chediak is not famous for is using really bad graphic design for, or preferring bad graphic design for his awesome card games. And Innovation is one of those games because Glory to Rome, I will say, is not going to be available anytime soon in the market due to copyright issues and licensing issues, XYZ. You will not find it. But Innovation is still in print. Innovation is one of those games which can give you the feel of Glory to Rome, give you the same kind of mechanics, and is one of the highest rated games of this designer, as well as having a lot to offer in a very small packaging. So if you like this game, there will be so many more expansions for this game available as well. So let me get closer to the table and then show you that why you should be playing this one. Innovation has 10 phases, and which are, or not 10 phases, 10 historical eras through which you will be going, which are represented by these numbers and different deck of cards. You will be starting with prehistoire and going through classical, medieval, renaissance, exploration, enlightenment, romance, information, postmodern, and modern era. Well, information will be the last one. And you will be going through all these eras. But for an era to progress, you must have enough either cards which let you by cards, what it means is enough technologies that let you advance to the next era, or you have exhausted one of the deck, that is, the age has by itself come to an end. How you will be playing this is, and again, just be aware that I'm not going to tell all the exhaustive rules because there can be many other rules, and the game does come with these handy play rates. These are double-sided. I'm just using two of them just to show how these will look like. So you can use any of the side just to for your help that how the turns are going to go, or what the different terms are going to be, because the game does use a variety of terms which you might not have heard before, like tuck, return, splay, meld, draw, achieve, those kind of things. The players are going to have two cards, and out of those two cards, starting with prehistory age 1, they are going to actually select that which card they are going to play, and the card that you can play must be having a value less than what you have already played. So for example, age 1 is where I will be starting, and this is, for example, this is what I'm going to play on my card. And there are different colors that are going to be available of these cards. You can have a maximum of one card displayed of each color at a time. So for example, in the future, if I'm able to get, let's say, these two blue cards, and I have already played one blue card, the next time if I try to play a blue card, it will go on top of this one. So it will cover my previous technology that I have improved my pottery. So for example, my previous technology in this class was pottery, and now I have improved it with tools. What are these technologies? What are these different things which I am investing in? These cards are going to be red, purple, blue, green, and yellow. These are the 5 colors. So purple, for example, this card is going to be Code of Laws, which allows me to have some kind of special ability. So when I take the meld action, which is again given on that when you play a card from your hand to the board on a stack of matching color, continue to splay if present. So that's the meld action. I can actually take this action which is mentioned here, and similarly each of these cards are going to have these different kind of abilities. But also what you will notice is that some of these cards are going to have a small symbol on top of them, which is going to indicate that not only myself is going to take this action, but anyone who has a majority of this symbol is going to take this action. So that comes to these symbols that are going to be available here. The symbol on the top is mostly just a graphical representation of what the title of the card is, but these bottom square symbols are what we are trying to develop, and these indicate where our society is going or where my culture is going as compared to any other player. So for example, right now I have 3 crowns. So my governance, this shows my governance is actually invested, how much I have invested in governance, whereas 2 information technology I have invested in, or 2 intelligence I have invested in, 1 in defense, and 3 in plantation agriculture. And this is what my culture might be. You might have other cards, or you might not even have investment in other cards as well. That's also a possibility, but a combination of these symbols is what we are going to look at. So for example, if I wanted to use this card's ability and there is a crown small symbol on the card, then I will be looking at these crowns, and anyone who has equal crowns to me or higher number of crowns than me, then they are going to take that action as well. So sometimes you are trying to avoid playing a card just because you know it's going to give advantage to your opponents as well. And that's why this is a very engaging game in which all the players are engaged and they are looking at what you are going to do on your turn, because they might get a benefit out of it as well. In the end, what you want to do is have the maximum number of symbols of each type, or at least specific types, because you can try to have a lot of variety of symbols, but then you are not specializing in one thing, which can make you weak. But if you specialize in few things and keep trying to invest in the same thing over and over, then you can be really powerful in that thing and nobody will try to. For example, if my military strength is what I'm trying to invest in, then people will not try to match me in my military strength. They will not try to use their attack or military cards, and that will be a good thing. They will not ever get the advantage of that. Maybe that's what I want to do. But how do I increase sometimes my symbols when the number of cards are going to be limited by the number? So even though I played these 2 cards, but all my previous agriculture was gone. Sometimes these cards are going to give you that ability to do the additional meld or splay actions. Splay is when you are going to actually display more than what's already there. So sometimes some smaller cards are going to let you splay your cards to the right side. When it says that you can splay your cards, then you will splay towards the right side like this. And now instead of on my blue cards, my one technology has enabled me to link it with my other technology, and my same technology has now actually linked it with the plantation as well. But more powerful cards will let me splay my cards to the top, which means I'll splay my cards in the top direction, which means now not only I have 3, but I have 3 more, and now my cards become more powerful. So in this way, actually the cards become more powerful. Once I have enough cards, I can move on to the next age as well. And as I said, that if I don't have enough cards, then I can keep drawing from this deck and then selecting which card I want to play from this one. As we move on to the next era, there are going to be better and better technologies. For example, in age 2, I will discover currency or philosophy or discover a calendar. So it's a civilization game, but shown in the cards. If I go to, for example, the Enlightenment age, then I will be going towards machine tools and industries are going to come into place. The matrix system has been designed or innovated by me. So, and going up to the information age, so I have bioengineering and the internet has been discovered. So these are the kind of things. We started with just some basic laws and we are ending up with things like internet and bioengineering, and that's how you are going to get a feeling of building a civilization using these cards, or as the game name says, you are innovating. But other than these, what are else how you're going to get points is that sometimes once you have enough points, on the back side of these there are going to be certain points written there. So for example, for an age 1 achievement, you need 5 cards to be there. As long as you have those, then you can claim one of these as your achievement, and you are going to actually show this by tucking this card underneath, and it's going to show your score, and you have unlocked an achievement. Similarly, some of these cards are going to let you show as a score, and you're going to tuck your cards on the left side to show as a score that which cards you have marked as a score for the scoring purposes. So you want to get more achievements, more scores, and that's how you will know that you are succeeding. In addition, there are going to be some wonders that you are going to build, or some special achievements that you can do. And what these are is, let me flip this, it's actually simply a certain number of symbols that you need to have, and as long as you have enough of this criteria being met, then you can claim this monument, and that is going to unlock some special ability for you as well. So again, these are some special achievements, wonders that you can unlock as well for your players. Slowly we will go through these decks up to age 10, the information age, and then the game is going to finish, and then we will see which player is going to take the highest score. Again, I have not shown especially all the special kind of rules, because there are going to be so many different variety of actions on these cards which I cannot even tell. The designer has come up with so much variety of things that each of these cards are going to do, that it's just mind-boggling that with each card a different function is going to be there, and sometimes some cards are going to have two actions that are going to be there. So other than these symbols, some special abilities are what you are going to be invested in or interested in getting as well, that maybe you're not interested in the symbol, but the effect of the card is so good that you want it to be displayed on your table. That's how the game will progress. Now let's get back and let me tell you my final thoughts. Now that you have seen what innovation has to offer, you will be seeing that the instant gratification that you are going to get by getting this game is going to be, well, the different kind of play mechanisms, the mechanisms that are not available in any game, which is actually the most surprising thing to me. Like the splaying mechanism in this one, how different combos can be made using the symbols, using just 5 colors of cards, but then you get to splay them and multiple symbols get displayed, whether you splay them to the right side, to the bottom, and that's really fascinating. And I'm really surprised that even after years and years, nobody else has been able to copy this mechanism in any other game, even though it's such a simple mechanism and really works super well. Now, the game has a lot of replayability built into it. So even though you will be going through a lot of these cards, but many of these cards are going to be used as scoring piles, and you will not be using many of these cards in your engine itself. So how the combination of cards are going to come out next time for you is going to be entirely different and can offer a lot more opportunities for you. So a lot of replayability even within this small box is going to be present. Then the mechanisms in this are simple. The only bad thing is that those mechanisms, by the clean art look of this one, are even though apparent, but on the table it's not going to be a looker. So even though from a gameplay perspective it makes playing the game easy, but it just doesn't look good to see these kind of clip art images, and even not good clip arts which are going to be on the table in front of you. Nobody is going to say, oh, what game are you playing? No, nobody is going to even bother noticing this horrible looking game. And I'm not really sure that why they want to stick with this one. Now with that, I would like to indicate that yellow, also the spell like IELLO, does produce another variation of innovation which is far much better, which has better artwork, but the designer himself, Culture Diek, does not approve, and he prefers this Asmodee edition, and this Asmodee edition is more widely available in all the markets as well. Plus the number of expansions that are available for innovation which are compatible with this version is going to make actually this one the preferred version if you want to invest in this game. and the investment is not going to be big. This is a cheap game which is going to give you hours and hours of fun and so many cool mechanisms and combos. And if you like that kind of engine building where your things are going to actually force other people to actually have a kind of a tug of war, even if you're playing with two players, oh, this big game becomes so much brutal in between two players, that how you're going to actually take the edge, or how many symbols you are going to effect. You are real actually calculating one by one against each other in that tug of war, and who is going to take the upper hand. So a lot of good things in this small box of innovation. So if you like that kind of games, if you like multi-use cards, and who doesn't, in fact, maybe you have not even played multi-use cards, let this one be the best example of multi-use cards. So comes with a high recommendation from me. Just I will ding its point just because of how it looks. I just wish the back side of these cards, they could have done similar kind of thing on the front side of these cards as well, but uh, what can you do? So as long as you're looking after good gameplay, then you cannot go wrong with innovation. That's it for me. Happy gaming.